want to go one more year. Well, Ben has a $41 million cap hit in 2021. And with that, we welcome in Mike Vitt. Mike, good morning. You played for the Steelers. You played with Big Ben. Should he take a pay cut to help the Steelers make another run at it?
Absolutely. You know, at this point in Ben's career, Ben knows what's at stake. He's had a lot of success. But obviously, you know, when you're making $41 million a year, it doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room to go out and sign players and bring in free agents. And, you know, Ben's going to go one more year. He's going to want to go all out. And in order for that to happen, you know, you got to give up a lot to gain a lot. And, you know, he's going to have to cut back on that contract so they can sign some guys and bring some guys in so he can go out with a bang. And if he don't, then I think the next season will look like this season. You know, it might start out great, and then it might not finish as strong as they would like. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, Ben, you know, at his age, he's made a ton of money throughout the course of his career. You know, now is the time, you know, to give it up so they can go out and bring in the players that can help this team move forward in terms of getting over the hump in the AFC and getting back to a Super Bowl, which is what he wants. Other than that, he wouldn't be coming back. So, you know, I think it's just a great move for Ben. I think it's unselfish on his part, and, you know, this is certainly the time to do so.
Think about this and don't answer it. Nobody answered this because it's like coming out of nowhere. I didn't even tell you guys, you know, I was going to ask this question. But what's Big Ben's legacy? Like, what is his legacy? Right? Like, this is a guy that won the Super Bowl, but he's been in one of the greatest organizations ever in all of sports. And it's like, did he achieve everything? Did he get all, you know, maximize all of his potential? You know, did he get it done? Did he really get it done? And you look at this year, they start 11-0, and then they just implode down the stretch. So, like, what is his legacy? If I'm Big Ben right now, absolutely, I'm thinking like this. I'm taking a pay cut because this is not how I want to go out. I don't think his legacy is set, and I don't know exactly what it is. You know, is he an all-time great? You know, are we going to be talking about him 5-10 years from now? You know, when we compare quarterbacks coming in, will we be comparing it to him and his greatest attributes? I don't know. But if I'm Big Ben right now, I'm absolutely thinking this way because I want to be surrounded by guys that can get it done and send me out on a high note. Nick, you're the resident GM. You know the cap, you know the CBA, you know all of that stuff. What would you do with this contract?
All right, so I dug into his contract this morning. $41 million cap hit is exactly what it sounds like, but it's a little more nuanced than that. $22 million of that $41 million has already been paid to him via signing bonus and a restructure from a year ago. So there's only $19 million that they can shave off it. $15 million of a roster bonus that comes in the middle of March and a $4 million base salary. If Ben there's a difference between restructuring your contract and taking a pay cut. Restructuring means I'm still getting all my money. You can just add years to the deal so the cap hit is lower this season, but you're going to have to pay that bill later. A pay cut is you can take money away from me. So in theory, that $41 million cap hit could go down to right around $23 million if he was willing to give back 18 of the $19 million he has coming to him via the roster bonus and via his salary. I think that would be a hell of a, I don't want to say gesture, but a hell of a move by Ben. But I want to follow this closely because if what he is actually willing to do is simply tack fake years onto the end of his deal, still get all his money, and just spread that cap hit out, that will help the Steelers for the 2021 season. But it will hurt them in 2022 and 2023 when Ben isn't there to deal with the pain of it. So the question I would have, Wilds, is what is he actually, or Brandon, what is he actually talking about? Is he talking about giving money back? Or is he talking about changing the pain where instead of experiencing it while he's still there, you guys can deal with it like the Saints are going to with Breeze once I'm gone?
Nick, remember early on in the week, I asked you to cover your ears. We were talking about quarterbacks, and I said, what I'm hearing is They are going to do an extension with Big Ben. So I think that's the way they're going to go, is tack on those extra years and get fancy with all that stuff you general managers do. Wilds, I don't know your take on this, but if I'm Big Ben, I'm absolutely thinking this way. It's like, man, I made my money. Like, I'm good. You know, like, you got stuff off the field. You got lake houses and boats, and I don't want to count another man's money and be in their pocket, but I'm looking at how do I go out my last year the right way?
But do you think it's his last year, Brandon? If they're going to do an extension, do we think he's playing beyond this next year? And here's the other thing that I'll ask you, Mike. What do we think about this Dwayne Haskins signing? We've seen sort of like the consistency of the Steelers has been with Big Ben, just like the consistency of the Patriots was with Brady. Well, then Brady's gone. We put Cam in. It didn't really work. Same with the consistency of the Saints with Drew Brees. But they seem to have a backup plan. Like maybe we'll go with Taysom, maybe we'll go with Jameis. Do you think Dwayne Haskins is sort of waiting in the wings if he develops and reaches the potential that we all thought he could get to in Washington?
Well, as far as him developing and reaching his potential in that offense is going to take about, 2 years, I would say, to be exact. But this is a situation with Dwayne where they just placing him with a guy like Mike Tomlin who can be a disciplinarian and can help him see the vision. And it'll be, by any means necessary type of approach and no nonsense. And that's what Mike Tomlin brings to the table. So I think that was more about discipline for Dwayne Haskins. As far as him playing and being the man for the future, that remains to be unknown. I couldn't answer that question, and as of right now, I would say no.
Mike, another thing I'm hearing out of this organization, there ain't no future, it ain't a bright future after Big Ben walks away. Because Coach Tomlin is not in the business of developing another quarterback. That's just what I'm hearing. So this whole Dwayne Haskins signing, this is about a backup role. When Big Ben retires, this whole thing could turn left really fast. You can see Coach Tomlin doing other things. You can see Coach Tomlin in another on a think about this and don't answer it. Nobody answered this because it's like coming out of nowhere. I didn't even